Hello, and welcome to Hello.
Is this working? Alright. Hi. Hi.
I'm your host, Ignatius Torgersen, joined as always by my co-host, Sam Herman.
You make it sound like I'm like your co-host.
My
like
significant other, if anything. Today we're joined by Howl and Biggie BK. So I guess first of all, let's just start off with a bit of an intro. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Alright, safe. I'm a Zimbabwean born artist. Lived in Vancouver for about 6 years now. And solo debut project dropped earlier this year, Veritas. Go check it out.
Gang.
Howl. I'm a rapper from Kamloops originally. Moved here about 3 years ago as well. Got involved with the label mostly through this guy, meeting him at audio school. And then, pretty much just took off from there.
Gang. Right on. So you said you released your solo project earlier this year, Veritas. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Alright, so Veritas as a project was sort of a culmination of like years of like recording and trying to figure out what my unique sound was. So it's a 4-track project, and it goes everywhere from like a motivational type of thing on track 1 to like the sort of battles that I have to deal with, like being the person that I am. So the reason why it's called Veritas, because Veritas is truth in Latin. I just wanted the project to be my truth, to reflect where I was at that point in my life. Yeah.
Nice. Excellent.
Work with any good producers on that record?
Right. He's saying this because he produced the entire project. He's saying this because he produced the entire thing. But
it's fine.
Masher Man, no word of a lie, swear down pun rude boy life. He's arguably one of the best producers I've ever worked with. Hands down.
Nice. That's all I was reaching for. Just so the folks could...
Yeah, but also just like major shout outs to like Jake Hope and Forth that laid some serious features on it.
For sure.
So, I just gotta like show them appreciation for the work that they did,
True.
So your most recent drop was your project, and the only project you've put out that's like a full thing was one of the first things you put out called Slumlord. You're wearing the t-shirt from it. Yeah, we printed those. That was one of the first things as like a leader pieces. I helped someone make. I know that since Slumlord, a lot's happened in terms of like how your sound's developed and stuff like that, but kind of that we just hit the 1 year anniversary and put that out on the streamers.
Yeah, we just hit 1 year.
Explain that project a little bit.
It was something that I had been thinking about doing for a long time. I'm kind of weird. I like come up with, I think of like usually like song titles and stuff first, and then kind of just like go off the imagery of that. And I just got the idea of the word Slumlord in my head, and I was sitting on it for a long time. Really liked it, and then eventually, around September of last year, few personal issues happened, and I ended up kind of getting the motivation to get the project out before the year was done. And I worked with only 2 other producers on the project, a local artist, Dysphoria, a lot of you know, big part of the wave scene here, excellent producer, and he produced the title track and the second single, Ugly Heart. And then a producer friend of mine from Kamloops back home produced the last song, and then the rest of the production was handled by me, and just engineered it myself, recorded it myself, pretty much went crazy for the next couple months. Didn't see anybody. Got Shingles, which was interesting.
Hold on. You're not just about to like escape past that, like Man's got Shingles.
Literally, I thought I had a giant bite, and I thought it was like a bug bite, and it was really gross.
Bug.
Yeah, and I was like, whatever that is. I was like, it was here. I was like, whatever it is. I was like, that's creepy. And then I like ignored it for a few days, and then it started to really hurt, and it was hurting like my muscles. So I was like, whatever bit me is like got like poison in my like system.
I'm gonna die.
I went to the hospital, and they were yeah, this is just shingles. And I guess because I was so stressed because of the shit that was going on at the time and working on the project, I prematurely got shingles from it. Nice. And so So it's a bit of a heavier project, and so now you know that those screams were aided by just a little bit of pain. A little bit of actual pain.
I can't be the only one that's like freaking out a little bit about this. He just casually said, "I got shingles." I was like working on a project.
It's fine. He doesn't have shingles.
That's that's artistry. That's some real commitment.
True artistry. But yeah, so that project is
you're a little fucked up.
Exactly. It fucked with me. But yeah, basically, it's been about a year since that. Yeah, we just got it on Apple Music, Spotify, all the major streaming services. Nice. After a year's release. And yeah, my sound has, it was a very, similar to what you were saying about that point in your life with that project. It was a very precise snapshot of a very precise part of my life that I'm at this point probably gonna end up moving away from. I'm still making heavier music, but not quite so much with a darker undertone. Played a lot of club shows lately, and like those songs scare people away, man. So I'm like chilling now and just doing like saucy fun shit.
Yeah, no doubt.
He's about to make lollipop hip hop.
Yeah,
not at all.
He's like new mid 2000s Wayne singles.
That's undeniable though. Wayne is undeniable.
For real.
So
that's facts.
Biggie. I was gonna say to you, because you mentioned before, shout out to Jake Hope and all that with your features and everything. Both of you guys actually, one of the first sort of things that you guys got into with music, that I noticed and Sam noticed, is you guys did a lot of features at first.
Yeah.
So do you think that like when you do a feature, it's like any different from your own personal style, or like I don't know?
I guess it kind of depends. I do a lot of features with a really, really great local rapper named Man-Meat Dogra.
Shout out.
Shout out Man-Meat one time. And like the features that I do with him, for example, like a lot of that's like you kind of just go off the vibe.
Yeah,
and the vibe
like
the vibe of our songs are usually just about being like sloppy drunk scumbags, and like it's lit. And like just like real real scumbag shit, and like and then it's kind of like just like I sort of just go on like whatever the vibe is, and then like if it's an artist that like obviously it would have it would be an artist that I would fuck with their music and see myself having chemistry with what they're doing. Like there's certain artists that like I even like if I really like them, I wouldn't necessarily see myself having like the best chemistry with them on a track. So that's kind of like what I go for somebody that I like catch a vibe with. Sort of.
Very cool.
Yeah, like for me, it's really similar to that, because my approach, whenever someone asks me to do a feature, is what are they aiming for? Want, exactly. Because when I'm working on my own stuff, like I'm the one setting the tone, I'm the one setting the pace. So it's like, if I want it to go left, I don't want you to write a verse that's going to make it go right.
Yeah, I feel that. Sure.
So that's sort of the first thing that I always have to do. Like, I have to listen to what they have and figure out where I'm going to fit in, how my contribution is going to make the overall sound what it needs to be. Yeah. And, like, I found that with that approach, I always find myself in a situation where I'm having to contort my voice or like adapt like certain rhyming styles, like adapt to certain beats. And in doing that, I've essentially like learned a lot about what my voice can do, like the sort of like vocal ranges that I can hit, the beats that sound dopest with my voice on it. So exploring and like linking up with various people like teaches you stuff like that. So features are incredibly valuable.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Good way to sharpen your skills.
Yeah.
Straight up.
And do you ever approach it with like that hip hop edge where you try to perform better than whose song you're on?
Oh hell yeah. Oh hell yeah. Oh hell yeah.
That's always the tricky thing with features, is like, especially if it's your friend, you know what I mean? It's not even like some paid for thing, and you just like but you want to jump on and completely wash.
That happens.
That happens so often.
I mean, it's just that's just in the genre, right? Like it's just nature. It's like more. It's more like there's just more flexing.
Right.
It's super competitive, because it's a dog-eat-dog world out here.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, when people are listening to your like to a track, they're like, okay, so this is a different voice. This is a different voice. Yeah. Who's got the better delivery? Who's got the better bars? Who's able to write the beat better? I will aim to school you in each category. I will write it because, and this is gonna sound really underhanded, and I'm sorry, don't judge me. But like my approach is that like I will listen to what you have and sun you on every single thing, just so that either you go home, you look at your verse and you're like, yo, man's might just need a rewrite one time, or you just say, you know what, I'm just gonna accept it, rock with it, go for it. It'll be Gucci like that.
Yeah, totally. That's like another thing too is that, I know that when I'm trying to get somebody on a track, if it's a rapper or any kind of artist that I really fuck with, I want them on the track because I feel like they can do something like different than what I can do.
Right.
And so it's like I want them to try and watch me, you know? Like, you know, if I get like a real, like, you know, if I get, like, shout out Baines, if I get Baines on a track,
oh my God,
he's great. I want him to body me. Like, because that's
exactly.
like, because it's
He's
like otherwise.
reliable for
yeah.
And he
he's
like
good at
writes
that,
the whole thing in like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
He's
and
like,
it's like, you know, that's
done.
like, that's, I think, a good strength to have is being like, you know, like, you come in and like do the best you can kind of thing. Like,
actually, while we're on this topic, I'm low-key mad at Garrison Cade. I'm actually mad at him because a couple weeks ago, we laid some shit down, and he pulls up and he says, "Okay, I've got options," and I'm like, "What do you mean you have options? You haven't even heard the beat yet." He said, "I've got a quick verse and I've got like a slow verse, right?" He lays out the quick verse a cappella, and I'm like, "Yo, my man, let's hear the other one," because the vibe on the track was that I want people to hear exactly what you're saying. I want it to be potent. I want every bar to hit the soul type thing. My man, he decides to unleash the slow verse. And I looked at him and I'm like, crap, I have writing to do. So what ended up happening was that like I walked in, like I laid the hook in like 5 minutes or something. And I was like, all right, cool, you know? Man, this flexing. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was actually feeling myself. And then Garrison walks in, laces this shit, and I'm like, done. Okay, bro. Okay.
That was a fun session.
Okay.
That song, I'm sure, will see the light of day. It's too good.
Garrison, I'm actually still mad at you. If you're watching this, I'm actually still mad at you.
It's got too much sauce in it.
Sauce in.
I guess something in that similar realm, because a lot of the feature talk, you know, we like hit things from like a rap edge, from like a hip hop perspective. For both of you, this is interesting because you like to sing a lot. Your lyrics are kind of like poetic sometimes. You consume so many different genres of music so intensely. Like, why hip hop? Why are you a rapper? How did you come to be a rapper? Saying likewise to you. I think that's always interesting how you arrive at that.
it's always been one of my favorite genres, so since I discovered it anyway, and so when I started making music, it was just something like Craig Correa, shout out Craig, we would like be back in Kamloops and just trying to do something different other than just hanging out and not doing anything productive, just like wasting time. We would just start rapping, and it was terrible. But we were like, all right, like this is something we can do right now. We don't have to worry about like organizing a bunch of people. We can just worry about vocals, and like we all listen to rap, and like we all want to be rappers right now. And so it pretty much just took off from there.
Want to be?
And then but I do want to do a bunch of other like there's no shortage of stuff that I want to eventually try in my career. I'm working on a lot of different projects right now, a lot of things that might be coming out in 2018 at some point. So,
okay. We'll cover next year.
There'll be more about that later, though.
Yeah, like with me, it was more so about the flexibility. So I grew up listening to Maxi Priest, Bob Marley, Lauryn Hill, Sade Adu, and like a bunch of like music from like back home, and I ended up picking up like a lot of music. So if you listen to like a lot of the music that I do make, you can hear like old school like soul harmonies, for example, right? But what rap allows you to do is that it allows you to take all of these various elements and just mash them up, mash them up, and that's exactly what I love about it, because you can legitimately have like a Sade Adu sample, right? And you're like, okay, cool, this is dope. You loop it, 808 on it, hi-hat, snare, boom. It's a kicking hip-hop tune. Next thing you know, you just need to lace your vocals right. So it's just that flexibility where you can grab from any genre. You can go to like something that like Calvin Harris dropped like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Grab like a vocal from that, slow it down, stretch it, make it sound dope. Yeah, like
It's a melting pot genre.
Exactly.
For sure.
So,
especially in like the internet age.
yeah, so that's honestly the best part about it, and that's why I sort of found myself sort of drifting towards it. Like, it wasn't ever like a conscious decision. It was just one of those things that I sort of drifted into, and I said, all right, I'm here now.
Yeah.
Cool.
Totally. Yeah. I love it. Yeah, definitely.
So, neither of you are originally from Vancouver.
Yeah, that's true.
True. I mean, who really is?
Neither am I.
He's not either. I'm the only one here right now that's actually from here. Not a bad thing. I feel like it's a big city and the scene is better from it. But I guess obviously my question would be like, do you guys feel like you take a lot of influences from the places that you're from? Or did you like gain more when you came to the city? Like, what was that experience
I
like coming
gained
from?
a lot more. I used to make really hella cringy, like lyrical, conscious hip hop with like a message and like the way that's evolved over the years. I mean, if you heard my new stuff, it's obviously not that. And
Fair enough.
I
Expand the mind a bit.
Yeah. And
Shouts out to Five Guys Burgers and Fries.
True. Yeah, dude. I do take a lot of influence from the city though, just because I think we really do have such a great scene, and I think it's gonna really pop off in the next couple of years. You know, like some of the people I already listed, like Man Meat Dogra, Craig Correa, Baines. Shout out Fade, shout out Baby No Money, Cold Turkey, So Low-Key. There's like, and Polo Bryan, there's no shortage of great artists, right? That just like, all of them offer something different. Everybody's like, nobody's trying to like copy anybody else. Everybody's everybody's on their own wave, but everything has like, it's starting to actually have like a Vancouver sound. Like I'm starting to feel a little bit more. It's like, our shit sounds cold and like, it's like, it's sweet. It's sweet.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Like for me, it was more so just sort of like listening to the music from other cultures. Because where I'm from, like for example, like we don't know what what Persian people are, primarily because like we don't have like a Persian community where I'm from, right? So coming to Vancouver, being such a melting pot for not only culture but like language and like how people think. So I think for me the eye-opening moment was when a friend of mine introduced me to like Hindi music.
Cool.
Right. And I love the drums in it.
The percussion.
As in like
it's
like the drums in it are amazing.
Pop,
right? So then listening to the sort of like diverse culture and the fact that it's like every culture has its own niche, but if you take a step back, you'll be able to listen to it in various songs. So like Polo, Baines especially, because like the way he flows, you can almost hear
you can hear it, right?
Like,
you can hear
exactly.
You can hear the roots.
Like,
you can hear the roots.
You
for
can hear
sure.
it, right?
Like,
with Polo,
definitely.
you can hear sort of like kind of like where he's coming from. And that. So that's what I love the most about the music scene in this city, is that it's clearly distinct, it's clearly unique, but it's also a melting pot where there's no real isolation if you look in the right places, which is brilliant.
Yeah, definitely.
So we got time for one more topic, and then I'll let us plug what we can look forward to in 2018. This one, let's try to keep it succinct, but I think we've got two different camps here that are good on this. Over or underrated lyrics in hip hop
Here we go.
in 2018?
Overrated.
Underrated, man.
That's what I thought.
I feel like both of them. I feel like they're also underrated because, like, I still do pride myself on like having clever bars, like for sure. And I love hearing that. And when I'm going to listen to certain kinds, like if I'm going to go listen to like a more like low key hip hop album, I'm probably gonna expect something like that more than if I'm listening to like a drill album or some shit. And I love lyrics, and like there will always be a place for them. But I think that they're overrated in the sense that this kind of standard that a lot of people are holding every new rapper to, like a lot of shit has changed in the point where like you've got people that are trying to just more catch a vibe and catch energy. You've got somebody like Young Thug, Lil Uzi Vert, you know, all these really great emotive artists that like.
Okay,
it's
Young Thug is like definitely a lyrical.
He does. He has.
I think like
he does. He
you
does.
know,
But
like,
I put he's like not to throw shade at either of their lyrics.
But
like
different lanes.
Yeah,
Different lanes.
like I like Uzi's lyrics too. Actually, like I fuck with like all the shit that they do.
Yeah.
But yeah, like just the way that they kind of like they tap into the energy first. You know, like it's all like just the very like sporadic vocal performances. Like I think it's a new kind of rap music and it's different. But I think that I say they're overrated in the sense that it doesn't all have to be about that anymore. You know, like but I still love hearing like some good bars.
Actually, believe it or not, I actually agree with him on a lot of those points where it's you can't hold the new age rappers to old standard.
Yeah.
Because even in the early 2000s, like people would like be like, yo, where your bars at? Where your bars at? And obviously I understand where that comes from because the history of the culture, the history of the actual music itself comes from sort of voicing your own social dissent.
Yeah.
Like that's where it comes
like
from.
poetry,
right?
sure. Yeah.
So for me, the reason why I say they're underrated is because as hip hop has become more mainstream and people are sort of looking for like the next big thing, they're not listening as much. And that kind of hurts me because I appreciate lyricism.
Yeah.
Right?
Completely.
Back from Kendrick Lamar's overly dedicated album all the way up to like his most recent work, J. Cole, everyone, I listen to them and I get a far better snapshot of who they are as people. Yeah. And that's what I think is missing nowadays. Because, you can listen to Uzi, you can listen to like Trippie Redd, you can listen to like Tekashi 6ix9ine, all you want. But in order for me to essentially have a connection to your music, in order for your music to have a replay value to me, I need to sort of catch a glimpse of who you are as a person. Right? True. So for me, lyrics are able to communicate that better. But I totally agree. Like, you can't hold people to like a certain standard when that standard doesn't exist anymore.
For sure.
So, I find, if there's any kind of communication, then, like, be it, like, lyrical or more through, like, an emotive kind of, like, you feel it in a different kind of sense. As long as there's that connection, that's what any kind of art is usually about, right?
True.
That was less argumentative than I thought it would be.
Yeah,
I was so proud of you
Very
guys.
diplomatic
Although I just want to go on record and say, fuck Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Whoa! You heard it here first.
Shit!
Let's catch some beef. I'm with it.
Whoa.
All beef is good branding.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
All beef.
And turkey too.
Beef.
So what do we have to look forward to in 2018 before we sign off? What's your year like?
A lot more shit. I'm going to be doing a lot more melodic shit. I'm going to be singing. I'm going to be fucking around. I'm trying to, do everything. Like I said, some projects that might not necessarily be under the Howl name.
Cool.
There will be more about that in the future. Stay tuned for it. Yeah, and then on top of that, just tons of music and try and drop some projects, I think. Try and drop just as many singles as possible. Work with as many people as possible.
Features.
A
lot of features.
Features of life, bro.
Yeah.
What's the year like?
So, like, for me, I just started recording my second project. And with this one, I'm also taking sort of a split sort of look at things, right? So, I want to be able to make stuff that makes people like move physically, but I also want to make stuff that moves people emotionally. Okay. So that's sort of like the dual approach that I'm taking. So I'm going to be working on that. I'm going to be like getting a couple features done, because, get your features. Get your features.
Feed your friends.
Feed your friends. No, true enough. Yeah. So like, there's going to be like a lot of work coming up because I've got a lot planned, because 2018 is the year that not only like I take off personally, but it's the year that Nyhla comes for heads.
Hey,
so
you heard it here first.
Like,
2018.
Hello.
Biggie season. Howl
like,
season. Nyhla.
2018.
Let's go.
Enough. Yeah, so I'm just like putting it on the table right now.
Yeah.
2018, Nyhla's coming for heads.
It's our year. All right. Well, I think that's about all we got time for today. But thanks for watching, everybody. It's been a pleasure having both you guys on the show.
It's been real.
Hello.
Goodbye.
Hello.
That last part we can do over. I know, man. My brain doesn't work. We have to fucking
That was pretty good.
redo that.
That was
end.
really
That was
good.
good.
Let's see.
I said pleasure, man.